So this video is about learning to read, represent, combine, and order whole numbers up to 10,000 using a variety of tools. One method of learning this concept is by using plastic base 10 blocks that you can buy. Another option would be to make it yourself. To do this, you would need graph paper, colored pencils or markers, construction paper, and scissors. To make the 100 block, just count 10 by 10, or if you have time, count to 100 in rows of 10. Color it in a color that the student chooses. In a cube form, this represents 1,000. Students could also color in each block with a color of their choice. You can make a block of 10 squares. And finally, make 10 individual squares that you cut out into individual pieces. Make as many pieces as you would need. When you have a number that you need to break down, the blocks can help you by separating each category. For example, with a number like 125, there are 3 place numbers. 100 represents the orange block, 20 represents 2 green blocks, and 5 represents 5 individual squares. Another method is with a chart that divides each set of numbers into different categories. On the most right is the ones, then the tens, the hundreds, the thousands, and finally 10,000. Remember that the ones is only made up of 1-digit numbers, the tens are of 2-digit numbers, and the hundreds have 3 digits. The thousands have 4 digits, and the 10,000 has 5 digits. Now that we have our chart ready, let's do an example. Let's start with a small number like 25. It has 2 place numbers. Always remember to line up the numbers to the most right. As you can see, the 5 falls under the ones category, while the 2 falls under the tens category. This means that the 5 represents just 5, while the 2 actually represents 2 tenths, which is 20. Now let's try the bigger number, like 684. It has 3 digits. Line up the numbers to the most right with the 4 falling under the ones category, the 8 falling under the tens category, and the 6 under the hundreds category. What does this mean? Well, the 4 means it's just 4, but the 8 means that it's 80, and the 6 means that it's 600. That's 684. In order to remember which category each number belongs to, try to keep the color code that you have in your chart to represent each category. What about an even bigger number like 8,429? Line up the numbers to the most right. 9 under the ones category, 2 under the tens, 4 under the hundreds, and 8 under the thousands. Let's read it from the left this time. 8,429. To really see what these numbers represent, you can also use the squares that we cut out in the beginning and line it up within the categories in this chart. With a number like 116, 100 can be represented by the 100 orange block, the 10 can be represented by the 10 green block under the tens category, and the 6 can be represented by 6 individual blue squares in the ones category. But what happens when there is a 0 as one of the digits? Let's look at a number like 3021. Let's line up the numbers to the most right again and see what each number represents. From the left, 3 means there are 3 thousands. 0 means there are 0 hundreds. 2 means there are 2 tens, or 20. And 1 means 1. But wait, if we write all this individually and add them up again, what happens to the 0? Well, remember that if a number has 4 digits starting out, each of those numbers has to keep their place. So even though there are no hundreds, the 0 has to stay in the hundreds placement. Another method is making a number line. In order to really understand what each of these numbers represent, it's important to make this number line to scale so that you can see how big or small the different numbers are compared to each other. For this video, I will use 100 to make up 1 sheet of paper. You can make 10 sheets to make 1,000 and use 100 sheets to make 10,000. For this video, I will only show you 2 sheets made up of 100 each. Color code each number line so that it's easy to see which category they represent. 100 will stay orange, tens will stay green, and the ones will be blue. As you can see, each 100 is made up of 10 different groups of tens, and each 10 is made up of 10 individual numbers. Now let's look at a specific number like 275. What does this look like on this number line? 200, 70, and 5.